Hi Flosstube, my name's Debbie. I'm MamaBearStitchery here on Flosstube and on Instagram, and this is a channel about cross stitch. Today is episode number 11 and this is for my October stitching update. And I have a lot of it today. I worked on a lot of projects this month, but before I get to showing you what I worked on during the month, if you're new here, welcome. I hope you enjoy what you see and you feel you want to come back. And if you're returning, thank you too. So this project might be familiar if you're returning. I showed the finish last month and it's Black Bear Country by Custom Crafts. After I posted my last video, Michael's had a 70% off their framing sale, and that was like all frames. And I've never done anything professionally framed before, so I was a little nervous going in. I didn't know how much a big piece was going to cost, whether they actually framed needlework or had experience. But the woman put me at ease as soon as I went in. She was like, oh, cross stitch. She's like, I cross stitch too. So that gave me hope that they'd be able to do something. So I left my bear in her hands. She helped me pick out a frame and the mats, and she was really good. And I had it back within 2 weeks. So before I show you my whips, I'll show you and finishes. I'll show you this. He is heavy. I got double mat. Let's see if I can get less reflection. I got double mats. And a frame, it's kind of, how am I supposed to show you? It's kind of dark brownish black with almost like brushed silver effects on it. A sort of greyish blue mat and a navy mat that picks up, it's almost the exact colours of the threads in the forest behind the bear. But yeah, I love him. I can't wait to put him up on the wall. Now that I've showed you, I can actually put him up now because I don't want to put him up there and take him down. So. But this has been a long time coming, this finish and framing. And just to give you an idea, like this is huge. You can see, this is me. This was in the 70% off sale. It was $154. And this was like one of the fancier frames that was also on sale. So that also helped. I think it saved over $400 with the sale. So I will definitely be looking out for one of those again. So let me slide him down. Put him out of the way so I don't run him over in my chair while I'm showing you everything else. Okay, next up, what I worked on during the month. The next one is not as nicely framed as that one. I framed it myself, and it was a start, a finish, and a frame. And it is Draculas Confession by Lindy Stitches. And I really like her designs when she's really good at giving you like a standard, if you use this certain fabric, that they'll fit in a standard frame. So I like that. So here he is, trying to not reflect him. I used all the call for threads. Like a lot of people have said, my dinky dyes, that is the bat's body, wasn't as variegated as the cover photo looks, but I tried other options of other greys and I ended up coming back to this one after ripping out so much. Yeah, so he was quite a fast stitch too. I really enjoyed stitching him. I think I was in the mood for some dark October stitching, so he was kind of perfect to kick the month off. And yeah, I framed him myself. I bought some of the sticky board that I've never used before and didn't realise how sticky that actually was. And it was like, oh yeah, it's repositionable. So I thought I'll put pins in and just pull it and then I'll reposition it if need be. And it might be repositionable with a crowbar because once that stuck down, that was now coming off. So I just went with it, and he sits beside the pumpkins on the fireplace. So that was one of my first finishes. Will that balance there? Okay, we'll on with my next. This was also a start and a finish, but I haven't fully finished it yet. And it is from this magazine, the 2020 Cross Stitch Halloween. And it is called Quaker Pumpkin by Rosewood Manor. That is that one. And I just used stash floss for this. It calls for a lot of overdyed threads for being so small. And I stitched this one on 28 count Lugana in the colour Autumn from Under the Sea Fabrics. So that's that. I tried to keep my colours similar to what they had charted. I did make the swirly bits at the top of the pumpkin green. And it'll probably be like a little Halloween pillow or something like that when I get round to finishing it. And oh, here's the stash floss that I use. It's a mixture of colour and cotton. I just went through and picked a bunch of threads. And you can see that's the rest of the fabric, autumn. And this shows you as well the differences in the way dyes take on different fabrics. Because this is 28 count Autumn Lugana by Under the Sea. And my next piece, which was also a start and a finish in the month, it was my first project for Juliet Reflections Out of the Stash at Last challenge. And this was a kit that had been sitting in my stash for ages. The only thing it was missing was fabric. But I used Autumn as well, like another piece of Autumn, but in 40 count from Under the Sea Fabrics. And this is Bowl Full of Scaries. There we go. But yeah, you see the difference at 40 count linen to the dye on the 28 count Lugana. But I love this color. It's like super spooky, big darker splotches. So that was a good start to the month, having those finishes. Okay, after that, like I mentioned, that was for Out of the Stash at Last challenge. It had been sitting around for ages. It needed started, and I didn't realize it would stitch up so quickly. The next project that I used for week 2 of Out the Stash at Last is Little Red Riding Hood by the Prairie Schooler. And I didn't finish this one, but I did really enjoy stitching it. And I can't wait to pick it up next year for No New Starts. But I did get the whole center block stitched. And this is just in DMC. And this is on 32 count Lugana, Antique White. Yeah. So I can't wait to pick this one back up. This was a really quick stitch. Okay, up next is Furry Friends by Margaret Sherry. And this wasn't a planned start to my lineup, but Pyot found out he's working from home until April. So we needed a longer plan, and we set up the office for him at the bottom of the garden, just so he wasn't in the house, which meant I could get back into my sewing stuff again. We bought new storage, which meant I could dig things out where they were in boxes and file them away better. And so the next 2 weren't in my planned lineup, but I found them, and they're definitely out of the stash at last. So the first one is, oh, which I've just dropped, no, there it is Furry Friends. Sorry, the books, everything's fallen. There's so many projects here. It's Furry Friends by Margaret Sherry. And this is on 32 count Joplin. And this is how much I got done in a week. So I'm about halfway with this project already. And typical Margaret Sherry, lots and lots and lots of backstitch that are between holes. But I love the colours in that one. And springtime themed stitches aren't my usual thing. I usually gravitate towards Halloween or autumn. So it's nice to have something that I could probably put up in the summer or spring, or like out as a little stand up for that. My last project for Out of the Stash at Last, I have had sitting kittied for ages in a bag, and it has a lot of cry neck, and I think that's what put me off starting it. I even had the fabric already matched up to it in the bag, but yeah, I think just the mass amounts of cry neck in it always like put me off. And that is Celestial Dragon by Joan Elliott. I have it, this is one of the first cross-stitching books that I bought when I lived in the UK, and it's in this book, and it's this big dragon on the front. But this thing uses that whole moon is in cry neck. And yeah, no. But for the challenge, I was like, yeah, let me jump in and I can tackle it. And I'm really enjoying stitching it. So let me just show you. Can you see that? And I would have got a lot further this week if it hadn't been that I had to rip out half that wing twice because I was off each time. But I really enjoy stitching it. And this is on 32 count Witching Hour by Under the Sea Fabrics. And it's kind of like a night sky. I think he's really going to pop on that, especially once all that cry neck moon is in there. Yeah, he's just going to stand out. So I want to keep working on him, and I'm thinking I might make him like Julie, Kansas City Girl, had a snow day project where she would work on Snow Queen and she finished her. We don't get snow here in the Bay Area in Northern California, but we might eventually get some rain, so I might make him my rainy day project, just so that I continuously keep working on him. So that's that one. Ooh, you can turn the page on the notes. Okay, the next one was not a planned start for the month at all, but lots of people were stitching it, so I jumped on it. And I went gung-ho at it to start, and then I just hit a wall. And it is the Trick or Treat free stitch along by Doreen Jones, and all 4 parts are out now. A part came out every week, and so I have the first part done. And I made a start on the second one, which is the little mummy. But I think because I stitched this bit up so fast that I just completely lost steam. And this is on 32 count opal linen in the colour Anthea by Under the Sea Fabrics. And it's all like orange and green. It's going to look really cool. And this is actually the piece that I stitched Ye Old Crow on recently. I just chopped it off the top. But I've put this one into my No New Starts album and hopefully finish it off next year. But you can, I'll list it all below. I'll link Doreen Jones's page. If you're not a member of it, I think there's some questions you have to answer. But if you go into the photo section on her page, all the parts are there. I don't know if it's free for forever or whether it's only for a certain amount of time, but definitely go check it out and download it if you're not going to stitch it now. Right, I feel like I'm talking really fast, sorry. There's a lot of projects to get through. And I'm trying to like race, the house next door to us got, like right next door to us, got demolished, and we're kind of in between diggers. They've just left, so I feel like I'm racing before the trucks come back again. Yeah, they've cleared it. That house was down in about 2 days. They've chopped down all the trees. It was like a scene from The Birds. The crows all nested in the big evergreens that were in there, and it's like, where do we go? And they were just sitting on the houses, and it's like, is it safe to go out? Are they angry? So yeah, I feel like I'm racing the diggers because you just hear the beep, 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 beep constantly and crashing about. Okay, next project is Bayon Cat, and this is a kit by Owl Forest Embroidery. And this might be one of my favourites of theirs. I was waiting to start this for forever. And here is where I am. And I'm stitching it on the linen that the kit came with. It's a 32 count kind of lemony yellow colour with all their overdyed threads. And this stitch up really, like, this is tiny. This is on an 1/8 of fabric. I unfolded it from the box. I was like, where's the rest of it? Is it really going to fit on there? But yeah, this is stitching up really fast. I did most of this during a 6.5 hour school board meeting. So yeah, this kept me distracted from that. I think there's another one tonight. I don't know if I can take another 6.5 hours listening to budget crisis meetings, and it just makes you feel stressed. Like afterwards, I just end up buying things because I feel like that's what I've been doing recently, is like shopping my feelings, which is probably better than eating your feelings, but which is fine too because I've been eating M&Ms, so shopping's probably better for me. Like end up buying things because I'm so stressed by the end of it. Makes me feel better. My next project I picked was I Am the Night by the Witchy Stitcher, and it's just a cute little bat, but I'm going to stitch it 3 times. I'm probably going to leave off the I Am the Night and the cross on its head, but yeah, I'm going to do a pink one, a blue one, and a purple one from Aya and Elena and the family tree. And this is on 28 count Dove Grey Monaco, and I used 3 strands of DMC to make it super black, and I just started the second little one up here. That was that one. So again, this is probably going away to my No New Starts next year. I'll link the group below if you want to, if that interests you. You just don't start things for the year, but you have to set your album up before the 13th of December. Mine's still done. I've even submitted my whip list on the end, so no more starting things. My most recent start is the Modern Folk Embroidery Family Patchwork Stitch Along. and I started this the other day, and this is super light. I'm just doing things that are on bright colors and super contrast. So this is where I am. I just started the other day, and it does stand out way more in person. There we go. And this is on 40 count stone washed by Under the Sea Fabrics, and I'm doing it in DMC 3865. And it looks super delicate. It looks almost like lace, but it does stand out more when you've not got bright light shining right on it. But yeah, I really enjoy stitching this one, and it's a long way to go though. So I might put these couple of strands in it before I put it away for next year too, because next month is a busy stitchy month, and we'll get to that. Another sampler that I worked on, and I'm trying to steadily just even put a couple of strands of thread in every single month because I don't want to stop because I might not pick it back up, is Pandemic by Long Dog Samplers. And here's where I was before. And here is where I am now. And I'm stitching this on 25 count easy count fabric, which has saved me a few times when I've made an error or two. And I'm using DMC 920, 823, 915 and 937. And this month I kind of finished a lot of this area. I've just got this little bit on the bottom here to finish, and that'll be that whole section done. But I did all the way down and made a start up here. So yeah, that's that. My pal's getting bigger. The next one is Dark Queen of the Seas, the Stitch Along by Autumn Lane Stitchery. And here's where I was before. And I finished part 2 up at the beginning of the month. And this is on 28 count Joblin by Under the Sea Fabrics in the color Coloris. And part 3, we're going up towards her chest this month, and it's the first kind of pick your own, because there will be multiple options that you can stitch. Well, 2. So we'll have 2 to choose from. So you can see there's not that much there. So if you haven't started this and you want to, jump in. Like, some people are fast stitchers, some people are slower stitchers, but there's always time to catch up or start even after people have finished. But yeah, I love the colors on this, so I can't, and this is her skin. See this like almost like greenish color? That's what color her skin is, so I can't wait to see what her head and all that looks like. So yeah, that's one of the things that first things that I'm going to try and tackle at the beginning of November when the next part comes out, will be just get that out the way. And speaking of November, that kind of takes us into plans and stitchy haul, because what I bought or what arrived is pretty much where I'm going to be starting for the month. In November, apart from Dark Queen of Seas, Full Coverage Fanatics are hosting their first it's called Wheel of Fortune event as a trial run for next year when it pops up a few times, I think. And they've released, you can pick from different groups of words, like somebody in the group made this, which is super handy. There's Northern Hemisphere words, seasonal words, or Southern Hemisphere words. So pick what you like. And you can do counting or non-counting. I think non-counting, you just have to match your project to the word. And counting, you pick your stitch tier that you want to do. So I picked 250 stitches per letter, and you obviously double it if you're doing tent stitching. And you can match your project up to each of the words and just colour it in as you achieve it. And is it 4? Yeah, 4 of these are going to be new starts, and that might seem like a lot, but 2020 is a lot, so why not? And I'm not starting anything new next year. So one of the first projects arrived. I ordered this months ago, but you know what it's like, things just take a while to get here now, and you just have to have patience. So this is my first Look at S kit, and it's called Ocelot. And I'm just going to use it, since it's full coverage, I'm just going to use the fabric that it comes with, and all the threads are nicely sorted already, and it's 16 count Ada, so I'm just going to use that's in there. I can't wait to start him. And he is 7.8 inches by 11.6, and that's on 16 count. But yeah, I like him. I love his eyes. So yeah, I can't wait to start him. And he is for one of my words, so I'll probably have to do 1,000 stitches on him to achieve that word. The next one that I'm going to start is a big one. I think probably my biggest full coverage size wise that I'll have started, and it's 495 by 700 stitches. And I've never bought from this designer before. Let me see, so I tell you the right information. It is called Soma the Chart, and it is by Unconventional X Stitch on Etsy is where I found them, and they've licensed the artwork of Christopher Lovell, and it is 110 pages. So yeah, this is big. I'm stitching this on a fat half of 28 count easy grid, and I'll be stitching that 10 stitch 2/1. So that's that one. I love that. I love all the, like, every time you look at it, you see something else. Like, I didn't even realize there's a hand coming out her hair as well. So every time you look at it, you see something else. So I'm excited to do that one. The next two I actually bought in the Artists' sale. I think they're having a 20% off sale until the end of November. So check them out. They have some fantastic animal charts. So I think that's why I love them so much. For the rest of my life, I'm just going to work my way through their wildlife section. But the first one that I got in the sale is Loving Mother, and it is based on the artwork of Lucy Bilodeau. Is that, I don't know how to pronounce that. And it is 300 by 240 stitches, and I'm going to be stitching this on 25 count 1/1. I love that one. It reminds me of Maya and Elena and me, the giant mummy elephant. The next one is Otter Nonsense, and it's also an Artsy chart, and it is the artwork of Randy McGovern. And this was a Maya pick. She's an equal opportunity otter lover. She loves sea otters, river otters. She loves them all. So she really wants me to stitch this one for her. And again, this will be 25 count 1/1. The last one isn't going to be a new start, but will be Hippo Reflection. This is already a whip, and you'll see a picture here. I did put a couple of strands of thread in him, but nothing really. You need to see a before picture. This is all I've got. I decided after this Wheel of Fortune event came up that I'd save it for next month. So that's that one. And this again is 25 count, and I'm stitching him 1/1. And I think that's it for Wheel of Fortune. Also next month, I have to squeeze in a couple of other starts that are already in my album for no new starts. And this arrived. 1 to 3 Stitch have some bothy thread charts kits that have come in. And Elena loves elephants and witches, so this was the perfect combination for her. And since Maya picked the Otter chart, she thinks she was to get something too. And this is Hallo Ellie. It's kind of like her all over. I will be swapping out the fabric to Lugana because it comes with the Ada, but everything's pre-sorted in there. And it's got a little star. I don't know if they're not beads, but they're almost like little charms. And that's all included. But I love the colours on this one. So I have to start this one next month. I also have a few that I don't have here, but that were on my list to get them started. This I want to start. It's not on my list, but I really want to put on my tree. I love the gym short ornaments. And these are really hard to get just now. I think everybody's stitching the Mill Hills for Christmas. But I got this one on Amazon. So if you're looking for some of these, Amazon do have them. This is the Jim Shore Santa with Cardinal. So if I have time, I'll squeeze in him. Otherwise, I'll save it for December. It's my December project. And speaking of no new starts, my plan is, since my album's done, I have my whip list. I bought these also from Amazon. These they're like little gift tags. But I'm going to print out all my project names and stick them on here and put them on a like a cork board with pins, and because I'm quite a visual person, so I want to see when I finish something I can take it off, and it's something colourful, and that I'm achieving something by seeing some of the tags disappear. So that's also my plan for the month, to find time to do that. The rest is things I've bought also. So we're done with whips, we're done with plans. Here's some pretty things. First up, Stitch Me. Now I know I said I'm not going to buy any more fabric, but there's been stressful things with school. Like there's going to be school closures and nobody knows which school it is, and Piot's moving him to the office, going to get furniture and just general. So I decided to shop for fabric, because Stitch Me announced the day that I was like, I'm not buying fabric. They announced, oh, we're fight night tonight is Halloween fabric, and I was like, take my money, just take my money. So, and this is why. This one is called Pumpkin Patch, and it is 32 count Lugana. Look at that. Oh, I love it. Let me fold it in half. There we go. It is bright orange and sparkly and grey. And I love it. No idea what I'm going to put on it, but I tend to buy fabric and then match the project to the fabric rather than buying the fabric for the project. Sometimes it comes and it's not the colour you expect it to be, so it's easier the other way around for me. So have a good stash. The next one is also a 32 count Lugana, and this was from the most recent fight night. And this is Sea Glass. And that is exactly what it looks like. It's kind of like a green sea glass colour. And so yeah, definitely use that. And also from Stitch Me, I did a pre-order of this and forgot about it, so didn't put it on my whip list. So I'm just going to save it for next year. And it is the BellaFilipina Mayari. I'll put a picture here. It is the Moon Deity, and that's from BellaFilipina. And while I was there, I just pre-ordered the fabric because the model was stitched on the Stitch Me fabric. And it is dark. It is pretty dark, but it does look like space with the big purple patches and the bits of pink. And this chart apparently is going to be one of 3. There's going to be 3 sisters, I think it says on it. But yeah, I'll save that for next year because she takes like quite a lot of specialty threads and blingy bits, so I'll just collect them during the year, and she will be a start at the end of next year in the 2-week block after No New Starts finishes. Last 2 things, we're nearly there. I was watching Janine McGowan of the Blue Flower, and she was talking about how she found this needle minder place. So while I was actually watching her, I went and bought some things from their Etsy shop. And this is from Quail Valley Creations, and I bought 4. So Red Riding Hood and the bear. Oh, sorry, shake hand. And this way, a witch and a turkey. Sorry, shaky. They have a great shop. I had to stop myself adding everything in, and they ship super fast. I think they ship the same day. And that is Quail Valley Creations on Etsy, and I'll link them below. The last thing arrived last night, and the last thing I have for you is my fabric of the month from Under the Sea Fabrics. I think this is the October one, and it's called Spellbound, and I got a 40 count this month, and that is it there. It is the most perfect grey. Like you could stitch everything on this colour. And I will definitely be buying more in December when all the fabric of the months, or the ones that Leslie picks, go up for sale and the most popular ones go into the main line. So I hope this one's there because this is perfect. I will definitely more of this, and this is a 40 count linen. There we go. And that is all I have for you this month, and we've managed to beat the diggers next door. So yeah, next one's gonna be full coverage filled with some other starts thrown in, and I hope you come back and see what I've done. So, but until next time, and I will see you at the end of November, I hope you stay safe and well and get lots of stitching in. So bye for now.